I guess it's whiskey time. Let's get at it. Notice a little change in the set today, folks. Times are tough. Quarantine times. I have no desk anymore. That's now been taken over by my carpenter son. It was his sawhorses, to be honest, so we'll let him have that. And I wasn't going to do any episodes of YATR up until this pandelerium was over and after flood season, but to be honest with you, if I had to sit inside with my Irish Rife anymore and watch any more episodes of Grey's Anatomy, I'd start licking toilet seats. We're going to drink a green spot today. Speaking of Irish, this is a single pot still whiskey. A buddy of mine, Gillian Brewer, darling, brought me a bottle of this back from Ireland. I think it was this year. It's all blending together now, really. And it's really good. So I got a bottle. Actually, this is probably my second or third bottle, but let's take a drink of it. And hurry it along, because I got lots to say today. Bit of a virus out there I want to talk about. Let's have a smell real quick. That's good stuff. Oh, the smell? If you had a beard like mine, just imagine if you had a beard like mine and took a golden shower in the face from a leprechaun and then had a sniff of your whiskers about 3 hours later. This smells nothing like that. It is really delightful. Let's have a taste. I thought sweeter than my first kiss. 40% alcohol by volume, so really I could have been sitting out here drinking straight from the bottle, to be honest, but we'll put it in a glass because this is a refined and articulate and a specialty type of broadcast. Green Spot, sorry, didn't give it much of a promo, did I? Green Spot, Irish whiskey. Don't know if you can get it here in Fredericton, but somebody can find you a bottle somewhere. Yeah, because, you know, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, in New Brunswick, liquor stores and pot stores are still open because they are essential services. Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 8 of YATR. Here, 69 steps in front of the St. John River. Markus Harvey with you. Yes, off the top, I mentioned I have no desk today because it was on a couple of sawhorses that my carpenter son is now using to build what looks like some wooden flower pots and maybe a coffee table with the top made out of broken hockey sticks. But, you know what I mean? Idle hands are the devil's work, and as long as he's doing that, I'll go with no desk for today. Welcome, like I said, to episode 8. Today we're going to talk about the virus, because I'm sure none of you are getting enough news about this. Couple things I want to cover, and I'm going to keep this as a quick episode. I wasn't even going to do any episodes till this was over, or at least until the flood was over here where I live. But a couple of things are really bothering me, and a couple of things I've seen that I wanted to address. And yes, before we go any further, I am wearing purple rhinestone sunglasses, an Ariana Grande Dangerous Woman tour shirt, and a utility kilt. And me rubber boots, because that's the kind of day it is. And we've switched over to drinking the whiskey straight out of the bottle. So, first thing I want to cover is grocery stores, or shopping in general, but mainly grocery stores, because I'm a fella that's out in grocery stores as part of the essential services. Don't work in a grocery store, but I work in grocery stores. And some things that are starting to alarm me after this amount of time. You would think people have got it, but I'm just going to reiterate it again just in the interest of the public safety in general. Grocery stores are open. They're open shorter hours now. but they are open. There's lots of food there. There's no need to panic. But what we need to purvey to all you folks out there is if you're going to the grocery store, just send one person to the grocery store. You don't need couples. You don't need, a guy and his girlfriend going. And for the love of God, you don't need a husband and wife and their 11-year-old daughter, like I saw the other day, going the wrong way down the aisles, coffee in hand, and then using the excuse to the employees that they didn't have childcare for their daughter. There's two of you there. One of you stay in the car with the daughter. Not rocket poetry. Another thing about the grocery stores I'd like to mention, obviously stay at least 6 feet away from everybody. The social distancing, the physical distancing should be secondhand by now. I know it's getting boring. I know it's getting to be a pain in the ass, and I know some of you are getting pissed off about it. But you know what? This cat wants to go to England in September, in the middle of September. I've got plans made for that. I'd love to be able to do that. And if you asshats don't follow the rules, then that's not going to happen. We don't need to plank the curve, I don't think. We just need to flatten the curve. We just need to keep the amount of people getting sick to a minimum so that the health authorities and the hospitals and the doctors and nurses can keep up. And then, eventually things will start loosening up. Back to the grocery stores. In the grocery stores now, if you're the grocery shopper like I am in my house, you'll notice on the floors of the grocery stores, or most of them, there are arrows. These arrows are there to direct you in what direction you're supposed to go down the aisle, because they want people going down the aisle 6 feet apart from each other and nobody coming back the other way. So let's go back to our kindergarten lesson now that school's out and it's being taught online. Consider this your adult online lesson about how to grocery shop. If you see an arrow going this direction on an aisle, go that direction. It's not that hard. And just take one person in the grocery store. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. Another couple of things that have been troubling me, I've noticed on Facebook, and as some of you who are on my Facebook know, I've got quite a collection of friends there. Some people I know, some people I don't. Some people are just associates or friends of friends, whatever. I love everybody. But anyway, I'm noticing a few pockets of resistance coming out of people complaining about the social distancing and having to stay at home and the fact that we're turning into a police state and whatnot. Folks, I don't know where you're getting this idea. I mean, I can understand the premise behind it, but the fact of the matter is, if you look at the news, the entire planet isn't lying to us. We're in the middle of a pandemic. There are thousands of people that are dead, and the key to slowing it down and getting us back to normal in an efficient fashion is to stay the home. Stay home. If you don't go out, you don't get it. It's so easy. And, was it today or yesterday, we had the anniversary of Vimy Ridge, First World War, great battle, lots of Canadians in it. My grandfather was in it. They were heroes fighting in that. In a world war, you can be a hero just by sitting on your ass or sitting in the garage drinking whiskey and avoiding your wife who's watching too much terrible television. It's not that bad. And this police, like I said, I'm seeing certain pockets of resistance of people that are starting to form little groups and saying they're going to defy authority and meet up in places and whatnot. Don't be an asshat. Let's get through at least the month of April and see what it looks like. See if there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, on the other side of this, I'd like to speak directly to the government. Particularly my own. I'm not going to even think about the United States of America. God bless you all, because that guy that's running your place is my mother's side of the family comes from New York State back a couple hundred years ago, and I feel for y'all, and I'm sorry that you have to deal with what you're dealing with, and that was exacerbated, of course, by the ignorance and narcissism and megalomania of Donald Trump. I want to speak to my own government, both New Brunswick, federal, provincial, municipal. One of the things that may help is, I noticed Trudeau get on the news yesterday and he said, it could be 2 years before we get, back to normal. Until we find a vaccine, things aren't going to be back to normal. you gotta stop saying shit like that, because the people that are pushing back against this, when they hear that, they're thinking, I'm not gonna be able to leave my house for a year, screw this, I'm going out. The economy of the planet, folks, once again, I'm an idiot. I don't have any information other than what you're getting, but having a family and being alive 50 years and having to deal with money, I can tell you this for free. The entire planet cannot stay in its house for a year and us have an economy without a complete just collapse into a dystopian nightmare. My thoughts are probably in this area by 1st of July, 1st of August by the latest, there's going to be, at the latest, there's going to be, you know, a little bit lightening up of these stipulations that we're under right now. We're going to be allowed to go out. You know, you're still not going to be able to go out into a mosh pit at a Slipknot concert and lick people while you're thrashing out to Sulphur. That's not going to happen, but there is, you know, you can see, if you watch the numbers, you can see we're doing a really good job in New Brunswick. Let's not screw it up. Let's keep staying at home for now. But the government, in putting up the projections that came up yesterday, is another thing that I think is a bad idea. Like saying, you know, we know people are dying. We know there are millions of people with this virus. You don't need to put the projections up saying, you know, there's going to be 3,000 people dead within the next 18 months. Because once again, you're trying to scare people into staying at home, and all that's doing is, like, all people are hearing is 18 months. I'm going to stay at home for 18 months. And that's what's driving people nuts. They're nuts now. So you've got a government that's kind of, I understand your scare tactics, but lighten them up a little bit. Just ease them up a little bit. Maybe if you're saying, you know what, there's you know, a possibility of this many people dying if we don't do this, and it's 18, 24 months, but put the other side out there saying, you know what, we might be able to ease some of these restrictions come the 1st of July or the 1st of August. We might be able to let you out. You might be able to go out safely and do some of those things that we all dearly miss right now. So that's where I'm at right now. It is Easter weekend. There's a lot of people, I understand a lot of you people want to get out there with your families and whatnot and go to church and stuff like that. You just can't do it. And I understand you want to do it, but we need to just stay at home. Just stay at home and get this thing under control. The more we stay at home, you know, stay at home until the end of April might mean we're able to get out by the 1st of July. But if you don't stay home, if you go on that ATV poker run, if you go out fishing, and I'm sorry to all you fishermen, canceled they canceled all the fishing license in the fishing season. My buddy Camo sent me a video today from Australia. They didn't cancel fishing season. I'll put it up for you. I'm sorry to be a dick about it, but I'll put this up for you.
Happy Easter all. Get isolated up here in northern New South Wales. Just broken head. It's a bit rough. But we've got Easter dinner. Happy Easter. Stay safe.
When he first sent me the video, I thought it was that scene from the new Star Wars movie where they're looking out over the ocean at the Death Star falling down, and it's a pain in the arse. But folks, stay at home. Just even till the end of April, and I promise you we're going to see progress in this and get out of this a lot quicker, and maybe get the old Harv off to jolly old Blighty in September so I can see my friends, stay in their house 6 feet away from them, and maybe have a couple of drinks of whiskey. And all you nut bars, like I said, that are forming groups and saying you're going to, you know, leave your house and join in groups and lick toilet seats and doorknobs at the bank, just cut it out. Don't be an arsehole. All right, I'm going to close, since it is the Easter weekend. I'm going to close with a passage from a good book. And from this book, we're going to be reading from the book of Markus, chapter 19, verse 69. And at the time of Passover, in the year of perfect vision, there will be a loss of sight. A great plague and virus shall inhabit the earth. But during the time of celebration, I asketh thee, join in fellowship with thine family and faithful, not with your hands, but with your eyes from afar. For the angel of death takes many forms, and may hide in the arms of the ones you love. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, stay the home. Thoughtful words, my friends. Thoughtful words in our time of need, indeed. Yeah, I forgot to mention, hit like or subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have any comments of things you'd like me to cover in a later date, or if you want to let me know how you're dealing with the pandelerium and how you're getting by, leave me a comment in the comment section below.